It really does. Being motivated by love, by seeing my son go out there. I wanted the absolute best for him, and I wanted to make sure that I was not a problem. That I was not a problem in this.
I've built many startups, most of them have failed, so Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be.
We're going to end it right there. What's up, guys? I want to tell you a story today. I really do. And I am excited to tell this story to you guys today because it has been on my heart and it is something that I am just beaming with through all of my being. Today I want to talk with you guys about being motivated by love. Motivated by love. And I will tell you that being motivated by love is not something that is, I would say, easy for me to talk about because I haven't had, to be quite frank, I haven't actually had that much experience being motivated by love. But I can tell you a distinct one which makes a lot of sense, is when I finally, after the beginnings of figuring out what marriage life could be like, I ended up finally figuring out how to be motivated by love for my spouse, for my significant other. So that makes a lot of sense. But what I really want to talk about is something that hit me just recently, and this is something that I don't have fully formulated in my mind. And the reason is because it's so fresh, it's so new, the feelings are so raw and so real, and it's I'm just really, in some ways, it's hard for me to be able to communicate effectively how much this experience has impacted me. Being motivated by love. So I was motivated by love with my spouse, with my wife, early in the years. But I'll tell you a moment just recently where I was completely motivated by love. It's my son. It's my son and his new karting career. You see, love is the highest and best motivation. Let's just start there. I wrote that note down. So let's just start there. Love is the highest and best motivation, period. And I actually don't have too much experience in this. Usually I'm motivated by other things. I'm motivated by goals, passions, interests, opportunities, right? These are things that usually motivate me. I'm an individual who is innately motivated by wanting to learn more. I want the world, guys. I want to bleed this world for as much knowledge, as much experience, and learn as many things that I could possibly can. Like, that is one of my chief motivators in life, is to not waste my life, not waste my time on this planet, and to learn as much as possible. You guys know this. I'm motivated deeply, passionately about learning. But I'm rarely motivated by love, and I don't mind admitting this to you guys. It's not something that generally comes up, but I'm telling you guys, when it comes to my son and his karting career, beginning his karting life, I was completely enthralled. I was completely filled up with absolute love. So let me give you a little bit of context and a little bit of a story here. You see, my father was into cars. I got into racing later in life, getting my SCCA racing license and buying a racing car and these types of things. And I got into it later in life. And my son, ever since he was a child, he would stare and just watch cars and trains go by. We used to live up on the 35th floor of the Atlantic in downtown Atlanta, and he used to look outside. We had a floor-to-ceiling window, and he would just stare and watch the cars go by on the highway, watch the cars go by on the streets, watch the trains go by. He was just enthralled. I consider having the car-loving bone in his body to be almost a genetic disease, a genetic disorder of some form or fashion. And so we got him into carts. We got him into cars early. After seeing obviously this innate interest that he had, we put him on ride along cars. We got him into the ones where you sit on them and they can drive, and they're electric powered. And then we moved him into the electric Teslas that go up to like 10, 15 miles per hour. I mean, he's always been involved in this. And so the story is that earlier in the year, I had promised, this is in February, I had promised my son that I would finally take him out on his first karting experience, his first go-kart experience on a track. And I was too busy. I got way too busy, guys. I got way too busy with life, with projects, all sorts of stuff, and I couldn't do it. And my son had been slowly nagging me, not in a bad way, but in a positive way of just like, hey, Appa, you said that we were going to go, and when are we going to go? And so finally I had the time, and this is my bad. I finally had the time to really set out and help him begin this journey by getting him a cart, going with him to get it fitted, allowing him opportunities to talk with the mechanics, talk with the techs about the cart and learn about it. Super excited. And then finally, not too long ago, we took him out to his first private session with a coach. I can't tell you guys what came over me during that first day of karting with my son. It was a life-changing experience. I still don't really have the words. I got to see my son completely alive. I got to see him completely enveloped, completely involved. I got to see parts of my son, facets of my son's character that I had never really seen before. His assertiveness, his desire to communicate his needs to the coach. He would say, I remember after one session, I'm down at the track C, and him and his coach are driving up back to the paddock, and so I got to run back. So there's a good, 2 minutes, 3 minutes difference between when they're chilling up there, stopping the cart, and when I'm, catch up. And I remember walking up the hill to the paddock, and I see my son holding his helmet, under his arm, and looking up at the coach and just talking with him, asking him about, hey, how does this work? How does it? Why does it vibrate like this? What happens? Why? The point is, I didn't interrupt. I saw him talking with the coach, and then I came back. I stepped back for a second because I knew that once I came into his periphery, then the context would change. Appa is here now, and maybe Appa will take over. And so I stepped back and I just watched him and listened from afar as he was asking the coach questions, digging into the cart, trying to understand what's going on. And these are all things that I could have assumed. I remember when he was a young boy, even younger, we would go to car shows and he would just sit there and just stare at the wheels for minutes, just squat and just stare at the wheels for minutes. And, for me, for anyone else on the outside, you're like, what are you looking for, bro? I mean, you've been squatting there for a good solid couple minutes looking at this wheel. And what he was doing always is just analyzing, trying to understand it. And then he would ask me questions about it. But it was just great to see him in his element. Great to see him going around the track. Great to see him. I have never enjoyed standing around for as long as I stood around for that first day, 5+ hours total, of just watching my son circle the track with his coach. I realized over the last week that I was motivated by love, guys. I was motivated by love again. You see, love brings out the very best in you. Does it not? When you're motivated by love, does it not bring out the very best in you? Absolutely. Karting, this experience with my son brought the absolute best out of me. You see, I have a tendency, and I don't mind saying this, guys, I have a tendency to ruin things for other people. You might say, well, Peter, what the hell does that mean? Ruin things for other people. Yeah, I have a tendency to ruin things for other people. And the reason is because I want growth. I love forward momentum. I love forward movement. I love success. I love the process of success. I love helping people reach the next tier, the next level. I love helping, period. And one of the problems that I've struggled with for years is that if you give me merely an inch, if you're sitting down with me and you give me merely an inch, and you start talking about, hey, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to improve, this is where I'd like to go in life, boom, I am all over you like white on rice, guys. I am all over you like white on rice because you have given me a window in which I could pour out myself and give to you of myself and say, hey, man, ask me questions. Let me know. How can I help? And the problem is that I get way too serious. And it's not like a negative serious, but I get too involved. I get too hype. I want you to grow. I want you to go. And so for me, I can tend to ruin things because I suck the fun out of it. It's just I remember coaching myself coming into this day one of karting with my son. I remember coaching myself and talking to myself and saying, Peter, don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up. Don't overstep your bound. Let the coach do the coaching. You're just a support mechanism here. Don't suck the fun out of it. He's just 6 years old. He doesn't need to be learning, the right turn in, how to hit the apex right, how to make sure that he doesn't need any of that. He just needs seat time. He needs time to see whether he enjoys this, whether this is something that he wants to do, whether he wants to do it more, whether this is something that brings him alive. And so being motivated by love, I realized, this is just over the past week in retrospect, I realized that this was truly a life-changing moment where I truly was motivated by love because it brought the best out of me and I didn't overstep my bounds. I didn't become the overreaching parent, the over exuberant parent, the over-involved parent that is ruining things for their children. Interestingly enough, one of the coaches that was out there, we got to talking during one of the sessions when my son was going around doing his practice, and I got to talking with him, and he was telling me that actually one of the reasons why he no longer does what he does in the racing world is because his father ruined it for him. His father, guys, racing is such a competitive sport, and this is not me digging into the racing culture, but let's just say that to be competitive sometimes fathers will do things with their children that is just unsafe, like taking a little bit of those, popping a couple pills to make them more focused, these types of things, and that type of parental pressure can completely not only suck the fun out of the event, suck the fun out of doing something that should be fun, and turning it into something that's just way too serious. Their children, for goodness sakes. You see, love protects us from ourselves. It really does. Being motivated by love, by seeing my son go out there, I wanted the absolute best for him, and I wanted to make sure that I was not a problem. That I was not a problem in this. I love cars. I love racing. I love modifying shit. I love change. I love everything about the car, the automobile world. And some of you guys have heard this on other things that I've talked about. I truly believe one of the greatest gifts that God ever gave man is the automobile, period. It is one of the coolest things in the world, and I love it. And so this love protected me from myself. It allowed me to step back and just enjoy the moment, be the videographer, be the picture taker dad that I really needed to be, to shut the fuck up and back up and enjoy everything that my son is enjoying. This love, being motivated by love, it compelled me during this time, during this day one and day two of coaching, which, by the way, can I interject here? The coach said, my son has already used up all the power of the engine that he's running, a two-stroke engine, and he needs to upgrade from a kit cart to a cadet cart already, just after day one and day two. So am I a proud appa? Am I a proud daddy? Abso-fucking-lutely. I am so proud. But this love that I had, guys, it compelled me to give my best, give myself to others, give myself to my son, give myself to the coaches. I was in a question position, guys, a questioning position. That's all I did is ask questions. No statements. Try not to make too many statements because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know jack about the karting world in terms of careers and starting out. I'm a learner here. I'm a novice here. I don't mind having a beginner's mindset here. And the love that I had for my son, the love that I had for this moment together to share this with my son, I will never forget. Here I am talking about it, and it's hard for me even to really communicate the experiences in full. And I'm trying to focus on this idea of love, guys, and I hope it's coming through your podcast, through your iTunes, through your Android, whatever. I hope it's coming past, guys, because this was just so powerful that I had to write it down. Love, guys. Love asked me during these last couple days of coaching with my son. It asked me to step up and be assertive. It asked me, it compelled me for the desires of my son, the desires of the coach. It was not my desires, but it was their desires. How can I seek those out? How can I be assertive in making sure that they have all the equipment, they're ready, that they're good, that I can be the best support system possible? And assume the best in everyone. Yeah, there's a couple times during the coaching day 1 and coaching day 2 that we were a little confused as to where we needed to be and what we needed to do, but love covered that. There was no bad juju. And I'm not going to bring up one issue, but it was one really small, guys. I'm not going to blow it out of proportion here. It was really small, but it was just like, it is what it is. We missed the session. We were supposed to go that session. We missed the session. No big deal. We'll wait another 40 minutes. It's like, no problem. There's plenty to do in the next 40 minutes, and we didn't miss it. We didn't miss it. It's okay. We can wait. We can get on to the next session. We can keep moving forward. Love helped me remember to look out for my son's needs. It helped me look for potential. That's what love does. It helps you look for potential in the moment, right? Love is motivation in itself to be on your best behavior. Love covers all. Love is that lubricant that makes relationships beautiful. I met some great people on day 2 of karting. We met a father and his young son who were starting out their first day in karting on day 2 of ours. And it was great. We got to meet them. We got to talk with them. I was just as loving as I could be, like excited about being there, trying to be helpful. I mean, they're more experienced than I am, so I'm just listening, trying to have no ego in this and just allow my son and his son to connect, talk about their cards, watch them talk about the features of the card and point out stuff and hearing them say, oh, that's cool. And love, guys. Motivated by love. And I'll tell you, and I wrote this down as my last point here, and this is kind of the last closing point that I want to have of this podcast here today, is that because I was motivated by love, the highest and best motivation that you could possibly have, it almost exudes beyond you. It's uncontrollable. It just oozes from you. I will tell you guys a huge win in my life. That for those 2 days, sweating out there in the sun, having a great time watching my son go around and around and around, talking with the coaches, seeing my son's face and the excitement of getting into the cart, of getting prepped and going and having that laser focus on hitting the line and following the coach. And I was fully present. I was fully present. This is hard, guys, for me. This is a challenge for me to be fully present in the moment. I got so much shit to do. I got things to think about. I got projects to think about. I got things to build. I got people that have needs. I have requests of me. I have asks of me. I have people to help. I have people to work with. I have people to meet, people to talk with. I got a future ahead. I got stuff to do, guys. But I will tell you, other than simply picking up my phone and taking pictures or recording movies of my son going around that track, I was doing zero work. And I was fully present. I remember the times when I was, growing in my relationship with my new bride, my new spouse, trying to figure out life together, figuring out finances, figuring out, behaviors, figuring out schedules, finding out the idiosyncrasies and the nuances that make them tick, whether they annoy you or not. I remember in so many moments when I was enveloped in absolute love for my spouse that so much of that bullshit just faded away. And I was fully present with her. And I was just fully enjoying the moment. Like the world goes away. It's like, and it just goes away. It fades to white. And it's just you there, fully present. It feels like all the eyes of the world are on you because you're there. You're experiencing it. You're fully there. All of your senses are tingling. All your senses are taking in the world. Your eyes are seeing everything with new. Maybe you're obviously vibrating at a higher level. Your ears are hearing everything. It's like your soul yearns to soak up every possible moment in that day so that you will never forget any facet of it. That's where I was, guys, when my son hit the track day 1 and my son hit the track day 2, is that I was fully present, engaged, available, protecting. The love was protecting me from myself. It compelled me to be my best self to others. It compelled me to give myself to my son, give myself to the coaches, give myself to the organization. It assumes the best. It looked out for other needs. It looked for potential. It was the lubricant. All these notes that I wrote down, lubricant for the relationships that were there. Love was everything. And I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And I wish, and this is one of the last things I wrote down here, I wish I was motivated by love more. I wish I was motivated by love more. I wish I could tap into the deeper motivation of what I know it exists in there. I wish I could tap into that more and I could leverage that more. But maybe it's just something about being, love with my wife, in love with my life, in love with my son, in love with what they're doing. Maybe it's just because of that deep familial context, that deep familial connection that it exudes from me. It oozes from me so easily. And I really wish, and maybe you guys have ideas of how to leverage this so you can apply to the regular things of life. But man, I wish I could leverage love. I wish I could be motivated by love in everything that I do. And you know what I mean. I'm a loving guy. I'm a good juju guy. I'm a positive guy. I love life. I love helping. But you know what I'm saying? To be fully present, to be fully allowing just the world and energy just to be sucked into you. You're like a vacuum of goodness. And I want more of that, guys. I want to be motivated by love more than I want to be not motivated by second-tier nonsense. I want to come from the heart. I want it to come from the soul. I want my work to be able to exude that, to be an example of love, to be an example of living with love. And I'm still practicing it, guys. Close to 40, still practicing how to be a good lover, how to be a good husband, how to be a good father, how to be a better communicator, how to be more giving, more love, all these things, guys. I just want to be motivated by love, because I'll tell you guys, those days that I spent with my son, I'm going to spend many more days, which is so great. I get more practice. I get more practice in being motivated by love, learning how to enjoy that, being present in the moment, and completely giving myself to something greater. Guys, I have no idea. I have no idea how you can be motivated by love. But I'll tell you, thinking on it, meditating on it, as I wrote this down, it gives me the words, and hopefully will start making some connections in my brain so that I can leverage these feelings. I can leverage this knowledge of what it's like to be completely enveloped by love and being present in the moment, and applying that to my daily life, to the mundane, to the routine of life. Guys, think on love. Think on love. Meditate on love today. And I bet, and I promise you, that it'll improve something. It'll improve something. Guys, I love what I do. And I love what I get to do. And I love who I get to meet with. And I'm telling you guys, I hope, and my prayer for you today is that you will be motivated by love. And that you will allow love to allow you to be fully present in who you're with and what you're doing. Enjoy the day, guys. Enjoy the day. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little story and share it, spread the word, let people know, subscribe, and join us in our behind the scenes of things you didn't learn in school on Yen.io. See ya.